Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is past Tucson. It is February and it is Wednesday. That is why the crew is strong. The crew is wise. The crew has assembled here today. We are going to be doing a meteorite or meteor wrong today. We have a video to show you. We're going to do a white glove one live, and then we have a little challenge for you. Out of this tray of rocks, can you find the meteorites? So that's what's on the agenda today. This is Meteorite MeteorWRONG submission number one. I'm going to rely heavily on Sue to tell us about these because she luckily works with all of the Patreon Rockhound members in all the communication of getting the videos to us, answering questions, getting all the information that we need in order to do a better rock ID. So Sue works really closely with our Patreons, and I'm very appreciative of that. She does a great job, and maybe she can fill us in on this one.
Thanks for the intro, Topher. I think it'll be obvious that we did not discuss these beforehand. I always tell people that you're experiencing a lot of this for the first time on Wednesday night, the third Wednesday of the month, and that will be obvious that I'm not making that up. Keith is a returning supporter. I think that he was a supporter for just a few months, and we've done rock IDs with him before, but on his last rock ID, he turned in, I think, in November, December. I have been trying to work with him, but I haven't heard back from him. So I don't have a
Hmm.
completed survey, but I kind of just made an executive decision. I kind of wanted to get this one off the books because it's been ready to go for a few months. So we're just going to base our rock assessment on Keith's submitted video and his photos. Other than that, I can't really tell you much about the rock as far as where it was found or the terrain. So we're just going to have to really base it on what we're seeing and the diagnostic tests that he ran on the video. So, but we're going to do our best for you, Keith.
So on this one, the streak test is performed and it leaves a dark streak behind. And the magnet test is performed and you'll see it attracts very strongly to a magnet. You have some really nice, actually very nice photos. We can really see a lot of that. I hope someone has an opinion on what I'm seeing there, the black crystals or black whatevers. If someone wants to talk about the reflection and how the reflections are terminating right around at this point, right in here. These are all shiny and these are not. If someone wants to talk to that, I'd love it. That's a great photo. Hopefully someone's hand's gonna fly up on after seeing this picture here. 2.5 inches, so it's a smaller stone. Okay. Um, I'd like to invite people to put their hands up now if they have any impression of things that I've pointed out already or things that they want to point out. Allison, Prairie Girl Rocks on YouTube. How the hell are you today? And what do you have to say?
I'm really good. I hope everyone else is having an awesome week as well. I see the reflective properties, like you said, they kind of terminate when the light doesn't hit them just right. Uh, those little things in there don't quite have the right shape for me to be metallic iron nickel metal blebs. They
Whoops.
seem really square and linear to me. And while sometimes we may see some elongated metal blebs in our meteorites, we don't often see them being that uniformly square or linear.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you were talking about these little glints of light and how they terminate and don't go all the way through. Um, right here, they appear to be metallic, don't they, Allison?
Correct.
And then when where we were talking about them terminating or like them not shining all the way, if these were metal flakes, how would tell me what I would expect to see if these were metal reflections rather than what we think we're seeing here.
I would hope that they would shine like a chrome bumper. And at all directions when light was shined on them, not just one specific direction or another specific direction. To me, they're just a little bit on the black color side rather than that bright, shiny chrome nickel color that we expect to see.
Perfect. Thank you very much. This is a really, if you were just going to show us a picture like that, looks very metallic flakes. So, Allison, thanks for digging into that. Dave Pinsky, what do you have for us, buddy?
Yeah, if also if it were a meteorite that had metallic flakes, you would see some evidence of chondrules, and that one doesn't. If anything, it might be a chondrite, but at the same time, it's very fine grained and also no evidence of any fusion crust, and that's what I got.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Art, your 2 cents, please.
Yeah, I concur with the first two assessments, and I would say to me that looks very much like a terrestrial earth rock, igneous and metamorphic. And the black crystals, if you look at them, the irregular shape of them, we don't see those types of irregular shapes of crystals in meteorites that I recall, and there's nothing in there that is screaming to me extraterrestrial. This is an Earth rock for sure, I can say.
I agree with you. Thank you very much. When you stop it at this angle, it really does show off these black crystals, interstitial, I believe is what the term is. If anyone has anything to say on these, I think I saw Chris Monk comment earlier something about these in the
Yeah,
chat.
I was just about to call on Chris Monk.
So my opinion on that, and I could be wrong, but my opinion on that is it looks like black tourmaline crystals, which is also, and I can't pronounce this ever, so I think it's called schorl. Schorl. It's hard to say. It's like SCHORL.
Okay.
But it looks like black tourmaline, and I've actually mined this in Southern California, and it's often accompanied with mica, which is also can cause those glints of metal looking material.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. Whatever metal is in this, whatever iron is in this is obviously in the actual silicas itself. It's not available as free metal, available on the surface cut. Like we were talking about, you'd see it shining wherever the reflection was. It always have some glint to it. And those crystals that may be, Chris said tourmaline. I thank him for that. They do look very terrestrial crystals. Not something normally associated with meteorites. I'd be hard pressed to tell you what type of meteorite I think this is.
I did find that rock. It's SCHORL. It's the most common variety of tourmaline. It's typically forming as lustrous striated prismatic black crystals, commonly found in granite pegmatites and metamorphic rocks like schist.
And when you see those crystals independent of their host rock, they're very not uniform. They're very like jagged and disproportionate on the outside. Like if you see the unpolished surface of that, that is what that material looks like to me.
Fantastic. Yeah, we always want to say yes or no in our opinion, but it's bonus. It's the little cherry on top when we were actually able to identify something that we see in there. As we watch the scratch test, Pat, do you have something to add?
Yeah, and just one quick tidbit. If you think you're seeing metal in a meteorite like this, use an ohm meter and see if you can show conductivity through it. I think in this case, that would show that that is in fact not metal, that they're just shiny crystal faces. And excellent insight from Chris Monk on mica co-occurring with this type of tourmaline.
Yeah. Wow. Crew, thank you very much. I think we nailed that one. We got a really good video in focus. I wish we had a little bit more information of where it was collected and things like that, as Sue said earlier. But we eventually just have to go with what we have. So I think we're able to put a pretty good classification on this as being a terrestrial sample, and maybe even some things that you could start looking up in Google to actually fulfill the identification of what this is. So thank you very, very much, guys. Appreciate your help on that. All right. Hey, Sue, I'm glad you put this slide in here because I forget all the time, constantly, to thank our Patreon supporters. And when I say Patreon, I mean YouTube supporters as well. You guys are all in one big glob of love as far as I'm concerned. Really appreciate it. When you guys come to the end of our videos and you see the thank you screen, each and every one of those names made it possible. They gave a little bit so Sue and I could spend a little bit of time putting shows together, editing, and doing what we need to do to put this together. It takes a lot of man hours. So when you look at the end screen and you see a little meteor logo there, just realize that represents 12 complete months of support. And we have a lot of people there that have 2 meteors, and then months are counting on the end of it. And it really warms my heart when I see that. If you're able to participate and at $10 a month or $25 a month or even $50 a month, but $10 a month is literally the entry level. It gets you access to every video basically we've ever made. So if you start your membership now, you get 2 past years of all the member videos for free. So that's a bonus. Anyone who joined 2 years ago joined with the promise of awesomeness. You guys can join and actually see the awesomeness. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate that. It does mean an awful lot to Sue and I. So thank you.
And don't I always get those meteors mixed up with spicy peppers? So when I see someone like Art who has 2 spicy peppers and an additional 6 months, I'm like, ooh. And then you remind me that it's a meteor.
They're not spicy.
I'm like, spicy.
Who does number 2 work for? We are on to Meteorite, MeteorWRONG, or Rock ID. Should I invest more time in this number 2? And Sue, do you want to tell us about this one as well?
Yes, this is another returning supporter. This is Lori, and she kind of goes back and forth. She's done the rock hunter supporter, and then she is upgraded to white glove, and then downgraded back, then upgraded. So I always remind people that they can use the membership that way. You can go back and forth between tiers. We have no problem with that. So she decided to ship her rock to us, and it showed up while you were in Tucson. So she's been waiting a while, and she's ready to find out. So this again, like any of the other rocks we've done for her, it is part of a collection that she inherited. She is not as really familiar with the geology of the area and things like that. And she's been watching videos. She just kind of picks out a rock that she thinks might be a good candidate, and she sends it. She gives us our guess of what it is and what features, but she's certainly not, saying, I for sure know what it is. Just taking educated guesses, and we're crossing our fingers and hoping that there's some gold in there somewhere, and that it's a pretty big collection, I guess. So we don't know where this one was found or the terrain or anything like that. We're just kind of like the last rock ID. We're just going off what we're seeing. And then these are the features that she thought she was seeing. Ragmaglyphs, chondrules, fusion crust, and slickensides.
And one thing I forgot to say about the Patreon memberships, we just had our first person go on and say, hey, I want to gift a membership to someone. How do I do that? And I looked, and it was super easy. They had a super easy time doing it, and they were able to gift whatever level of membership they wanted to whoever they wanted for whatever period of time they wanted. So it was a super easy transaction. So if you're thinking about maybe giving the gift of a membership, by all means, go on to Patreon and give a $10 membership for 1 month. Let someone geek out for a few hours and watch 2 years of videos, and then they can cancel. I'm in the middle of showing off this sample, and it's a very unique sample. I'm gonna ask for everyone to chime in and let me see what you guys have to say in a second. But what I'm seeing right off the bat is really angular lines. It looks like almost a staircase going up this side. A lot of these lines in here are super, super sharp, precise, not rounded at all, and maybe in parallel to each other. These are things that I'm just observing and pointing them out. I don't necessarily think that those are meteoritic in nature, but I'm also seeing on this side, I don't know, maybe one of my geology friends can tell me a little bit of, but that it looks like it's layered in there perhaps. And then I have no idea what this is. It looks like it would be a lot softer than it is. It's rock hard. Like it's so does anyone have any thoughts? Oh, you know what? Let me do this as well. No, as reported, it's not magnetically attracted. And on the and you know what I thought about doing too? I think we're going to do a video where I actually get known meteorites that are cut and start doing some scratch tests, because the scratch tests to me don't really tell me very much because I don't really use it in my meteorite studies. But this is not leaving any mark and it's harder than a tile. So hopefully that gives you guys some information. Who would like to start off? Chris, go for it, buddy.
So I don't have a lot of intelligent things to say about this, but
Cool.
what I will say is that I don't think it's a meteorite. Visually, it doesn't look like a meteorite to me, but I can see how she got there because it looks a little bit like Tatooine.
Oh, yeah.
Tatooine kind of has that's a diagonite, that it has those
Yeah.
huge angular crystals. It doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot of rounded edges. The color is similar. So
It
like
wouldn't be attracted to a magnet either.
yeah. So I mean I would have picked that up off the ground and looked at it for myself for a while and maybe even brought it home. But I don't think it is a meteorite.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your feedback. I'm looking at this and I'm liking the outside color, the darken. It does appear to look like it could be fusion crust-ish looking. Dave, what do you have to say, buddy?
Yeah, in the description, she mentioned that she saw chondrules, and let's say if it's an LL, sometimes you barely get any attraction, so that's a possibility. But there are absolutely no chondrules. As hard as it is, chondrites are not as hard as that rock is. And the only other thing would be an achondrite, and I agree with Chris's comment about Tatooine. But again, it doesn't look like any achondrite that I know of other than that one. And the chondrite is the most important thing, and I don't think I saw any slick and slides either. And that's what I got.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Allison, what do you have to say, my lady? Does anyone know what this is? Allison, go ahead.
I don't know what that is. I could take a couple of guesses, but
Nah.
yeah, I don't know if that's the point here. The point is to talk about whether it's a meteorite or not.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things that you had said that stood out to you is the sharp edges, and that was a big note that I had made. Like, ooh, that definitely stood out to me as well.
Yeah.
And I believe that may be what our viewer is seeing as slick and slides. And I agree with Sue on that's still a hard thing for me to pick out sometimes. And slick and slides is kind of a linear striations, and the lines all kind of run the same direction. However, that's a bit too chunky and angular for my liking. Topher mentioned the streak test and the magnet test. Well, he didn't mention the magnet test, but I want to put them together in this statement and say that while I also have not streaked a lot of meteorites, I have streaked a lot of earth rocks. And so while the streak test may say something completely different to another member on the crew, it may speak volumes to me.
Oh, good.
So, or a magnet test can speak volumes to me when I compare that to the thousands of rocks that I've handled, not just meteorites. So, I just want to kind of just throw that out there that it is actually good information, and maybe not in the same way for me as it is another member of the crew, but it is
Thank
actually
you.
useful information.
Very good. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, one time you had given us 6 or 8 meteorites and meteorwrongs, and the way that the magnet stuck to one of your meteorwrongs was a tell to me that it was an earth rock. So
Nice.
something as simple as that can speak volumes to somebody who's looking at it from a different perspective.
Yep.
Again, with if we see chondrules, we would hope that we would see a slight magnetic attraction. So if this,
Yep.
then that, and I just don't see
Mm.
the if this, then that that's required to meet qualification for a meteorite here.
I agree with you. I also, I thank you. I also see that
Yes, thank you.
the lines going through there, the striations of lines almost. Yeah, and that's why it's great having a really diverse crew, because I am not a rock hounder. I have not done scratch tests on rocks. That's not what I've done. That's not how I spent my time in the past. So it doesn't really do much for me. It doesn't really tell me much. And I don't know how a real meteorite would scratch, because I don't scratch real meteorites. But I think I'm actually going to put a video together where I get real meteorites and we do a scratch test once and for all and just record it for posterity and for science. Take us home there, Art.
Yeah, to me that screams terrestrial, and the angles on the rock. We don't commonly see that in meteorites. Those look like parallel fracture lines.
Yeah.
And something that's very hard like that. Yeah, I'm saying that's a metamorphic terrestrial rock, but I compliment the person for investigating it and explaining what attracted her and what her thoughts were on it. It's a very good job.
Crew consensus. Where are we? There we go. Crew consensus.
And Ken says in the chat that in all the books about meteorites, the first thing they tell you to do is do a streak test.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm the odd guy out. See, that's why I'm glad I have a crew that's not scared to speak up and call me an idiot when they need to call me an idiot.
Well, when you said that, you're like, what's the point of these? I'm like, no, we're leaving them in.
Well,
Okay.
and I want to just add right here, right now, that the information that you actually gathered from that is that it was a hard rock. So
Yeah.
you actually did gather information from that, and it was valuable information.
Oh my God. Why don't you just rub my face in
I'm
it?
sorry.
That's awesome. I really appreciate everyone's help getting that done. I agree with what we said on those. As a thank you and a little prize for everyone who's made it to the end of the video, and we're almost at the end of the video, I have a few samples here I want to show you. This is the Meteorite or MeteorWRONG game for you to play at your house. I think Sue said that my last one that I did was too challenging, impossible, challenging. We got one person who got all the right answers. So this time we are trying to reverse it. We're trying to get 100% to get it right. Because if we get 100% of the people getting it right, I'm going to feel really good about that rather than tricking everyone. So this should be a little bit easier. Should have a lot more success. All right. So we actually have 5 samples right here. And they are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's look at number 1.
Topher, do you test these with magnets or weigh them or anything like that?
I'm going to.
Okay, cool.
Magnet does not stick at all to it. Yep. So that's number 1. Hold on. Allison will kick my ass if I don't do a scratch test. The black crystals are leaving marks. The other stone is not. So hopefully that tells Allison an awful lot. All right. That was number 1.
She gave a thumbs up.
This is number 2. Number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
Thank you. Light attraction, but consistent. Wow, lots of metallic. Okay, so now do a scratch test. That is a scratch test. So there you have it, folks. Number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is not responsive to a magnet at all. And we'll see about a scratch test. Seems to be a little bit softer, more. Wow. Nothing, just absolutely destroyed it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough rock right there. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4. Hopefully you guys are able to identify features on the interior and on the exterior that help guide you. And we are going for 100% this time. So we are going to put the answers. This is number 4. Number 5 is coming up. We are going to put the answers in the description of the video. So if you're watching this, you can click right down to the description right now and see the answers to see how many you got right. This one is very little magnetism, magnetic attraction. And wow. Allison, what does that tell you? Shh. Okay, that I can see where a scratch test that does something like that and like that can tell you something. But like every one I've done has been like that. So
Did you magnet number 4?
yep. And
Okay.
it's
All right. Thank you.
nice. Thank you. All right, so viewers, thank you so much for playing along at home. I hope you got those right. I hope you got all of them right. If you did, great. Come back next week, learn some more. If you didn't get them all right, that's okay. Come back next week, learn some more. And if you notice down there, when you were checking your answers to see how many you got right, did you notice that I put the link right above it that says buy a Meteorite, support the crew? That's what that, yeah, that's what that's, all right. All right, everyone on the crew, wave to the camera. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.